I might have read a different book from everyone else.
I'm absolutely loving this. It's incredible. The first couple of pages, it was talking about CrossFit as a cult, and that is just something that is a part of my personal philosophy. I really want to read this one, and I'm almost considering just reading it now for Winterween. Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to part 2 of the Winterween reading vlogs. Today is Thursday, so it is day 4 of Winterween, and I'm waking up feeling energized. I feel like starting part 2 of the vlogs makes me feel like I'm starting the readathon again. Like I have a good new jolt of energy. I'm ready to read books again. I'm gonna pivot my TBR a bit probably, but I feel like that's gonna be for the best. As of today, I have not posted part 1 of the readathon vlogs yet, so I haven't seen any of your comments suggesting anything to read. So right now I'm still just going to keep going with the books I had planned. So last night I decided to pick up The Chime by Mona Kabani, and this is what I was reading for the novella prompt. I got about halfway through this. It is 150 pages and I got to page like 80, so I read half of it. It's a weird one. It gave me very strange nightmares. I dreamt that I was dating a girl that I watch on TikTok and was like living with her and her dog, except I was in the body of a man that she knew but who had lost all of his memories and was also trying to run away from people, and I had to run down like 18 flights of stairs in a disguise, and I had to create a brand new life for myself. It was a wild time. This book, fully responsible for that. I didn't really know what the story was fully going to be about. The back is interesting because the author photo is like a missing person poster, and I knew that this story was about this woman who has night terrors, and she one day sees a missing persons poster, and the person in the missing persons poster is a photo of herself, and then that sends her on this spiral. So I thought that was kind of cool and creepy that they also did the missing person thing on the back. But yeah, I really wasn't sure what to expect. Haven't heard about this author. I feel like this is probably indie published. I'm not really sure. Anyways, when I first started it, wasn't really enjoying it, wasn't super captured in it. The writing is just not the most polished or the best, and so that was kind of pulling me out. It kind of feels like something you would read like creepypasta or something. But then it started doing this weird thing where there's this intermission, and then you start reading a different story and you don't know how that's going to be incorporated into what you're reading. It's really hard to talk about because you could spoil it pretty harshly if you talk about what's really going on in the story. But what's really going on in the story is so much bigger than just this woman seeing the missing persons poster. It is speculative in a way, and it is incredibly confusing. Like, you know when you're reading a book about multiple timelines or dimensions or realities, and the way the story is naturally going to be, it's going to be confusing because it's like, what's real, what's not, what's the real timeline, what's not. That's kind of how this is. It's not alternate dimension necessarily, but it is a book where you're like, is this real, or is this real, or is this all fake, or is this all fake? So I think that's what fueled the weird nightmares I had of like living in a different body, losing all my memories, being a different person, not knowing what was reality and not. So I'll give it credit for giving me nightmares, because horror books don't often give me nightmares. But right now I think it's an interesting concept. Don't know if I'm loving the execution. So I'm going to finish the rest of this today just to see what happens. But I'm feeling like it's probably gonna be like a 2 or 3 star, so not the strongest kickoff to part 2. So I want the next book that I pick up to be a banger. So I'm just gonna fly through this and then I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna pick up next. But I still have work to do today, so it's gonna be a couple more hours until I check in with you again, finish the book, and move on to something else. But I have no plans for the evening other than reading. So I'm going to be nosing a book, hopefully one that's really good, and having a good time. Chime. It wasn't very good. I didn't really like it. I'm just gonna give it 2 stars, and I really don't have that much to say about it. It just wasn't super great. It's just a random book that I found one day on the internet and decided to pick up, and it just wasn't very good. It was very strange and confusing, dark, triggering. And then by the end, the message was just strange. Like the message of this whole book is just about like choosing your happiness and what you would give for happiness, like what you would sacrifice for happiness. A little on the nose. I don't know. Didn't really like it. Don't really have much more to say about it, but at least I finished a novella. So I have now completed all the prompts for Winterween, and I still have 3 more full days of the readathon. So I'm just letting myself loose. We're just gonna mood read, and what I am in the mood to read at the moment is They Never Learn. So this is what I'm gonna read. I'm getting ready to head to bed, so I'm going to take this one to the bed with me, and I will check in with you in the morning, let you know how far I got and what my first impressions are. If you hear things that sound like it's pelting my windows, that is just the snow melting because it snowed last night, which is so exciting. We got like, I don't know, maybe like 3 inches. It was quite a bit of snow, and it is the first time that it's like fully snowed since we have been here. You know, we thought we're moving up north, up to Pennsylvania from North Carolina. It should be a really snowy winter, and it's what, January 7th, and we're finally getting real snow. I know some people don't like snow because it's an inconvenience, but when you work from home, it's just great because you have this beautiful snowy landscape around you, outside all your windows. You have nowhere to go, you have nowhere to be. I can't wait to be all cozy tonight. It's gonna be great. But I did want to let you know that I did start They Never Learn last night, and I read it up to chapter 13, up to page 66. And so far, no complaints. I'm a little bit nervous because everyone talks about how in the middle there's this huge, big, crazy plot twist. And I'm already suspecting something. I've been taking notes on my phone as I'm reading too, and literally at page 18, I was like, is this the plot twist? So I hope it's not just that. I hope there's something bigger and more exciting. I won't tell you what I think it is in case that's right at all, but I'll let you know once I get to the plot twist if it was what I was thinking or not. I really like to do that with thrillers, take notes in my phone of like the page I'm reading and the theories that I have so that later on I can look back at that, and then it really helps me confirm if like, oh yeah, you were onto it really quickly, or sometimes I felt like I was onto it really quickly, but when I look back at my notes, I'm like, girl, you were so far off. So I'm glad that I did that. Oh, I'm also realizing I forgot to tell you what this book is about. Everyone's talking about it on the internet, especially on BookTube, so I feel like you probably know, but if you don't, this is a story that follows this professor at this university who kills men. She basically just goes around this school every year and just kills the shittiest men on the campus, whether it's a student or I guess a professor too. So that's really all I knew about the story, is that you're just following this woman who kills men and then things happen from there. There's more in the synopsis, but I didn't really want to know any more than that. So if you're cool with that much information, cool. If you want more information, you can go read the synopsis on Goodreads if you want. I also didn't know this is going to be dual POV, that you were going to get more than one perspective in this, so I like that. It also has really short chapters, which keeps it really fast-paced and engaging, which I like. Not a ton is happening quite yet in the story, but it's still reading fast, so I am liking it. I'm nervous that I've already figured some things out, but hopefully there's going to be a bigger plot twist coming along the way. But yeah, so far no complaints. Definitely enjoying this. Definitely want to read a lot more of it later tonight. But as for now, as per usual, gotta go to work. Gonna go do that for a few hours, and then I will check back in with you this evening. Hello, it is now later in the evening. I am settled in. It's pretty late. It is 9 o'clock. We ordered a very extravagant dinner tonight because it's a Friday night, and so we felt like eating food. It's not that extravagant. Food in Philly is just freaking expensive, and we just got like Italian food, but it was so good. I filmed none of it because I was so hungry that I just ate all of it, but we had amazing meatballs, and then I had a bolognese that was mediocre, but like it was all right. But then the star of the show was the dessert that we had, which were these zipoli, which if you don't know, they're like Italian donuts, basically like little fried dough things, but these were stuffed with cannoli filling, and it came with a raspberry sauce on the side. Oh my god, just trust me, they were so good. Anyway, so did that, was relaxing for a little bit. I've been sitting here on the couch with Coop. We're just chilling. Also been watching Beth of Beth's All Booked. She is doing her live show tonight for her book club. They were reading Book of Accidents this month, which I read back in October, but I still remembered enough of it, so I've been watching that. And that's been a lot of fun. And now I'm going to sit here and just read as much of They Never Learn as I can. I've been reading a little bit more, so I'm around like a page 100 now. And I really wanted to capture reading to the middle of this book on camera because everyone says the middle is like this crazy plot twist. I really wanted to catch my reaction to that if it is something that blows me away. I'm still not feeling any differently about the story. Not much has really happened. It's all still build up at this point, and I still am suspecting that the thing that I was suspecting by page 18 is what's going to happen, and I'm getting increasingly nervous that that is what the big plot twist is because it doesn't feel like we're really building to much else. So that's concerning, but I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it is going to be this big plot twist that blows me away, but I'm going to set up my camera, read a little bit more, hopefully get to the midpoint, and we'll see if it impacts me at all.
But what I meant was like a police proceeding where like one of the main characters, which I guess in The Silent Patient, it's not like a detective type. Well, I guess it is.
Okay, well, I've made it halfway through the book. The reveal was exactly what I thought it was going to be from page 18. Please tell me there's something more. Please tell me there's something more coming that's going to blow my mind. That was in no way a surprise. Was that supposed to be a surprise? I don't know. I need to shower, and I just want to get in bed. So I'm not going to record my reading reactions anymore. Especially if it's not going to be worth it. But I'm going to read more tonight and just hope there's something else coming. Oh my god, this is going to be so disappointing if that is it. Ugh. You ready to go to bed? Are you ready to go to bed? Good. Let's go. I didn't like it. I don't know how this keeps happening to me, where there are these booktube darlings. Everybody loves these books. They're their favorite books. Then I read them, and I don't see what everyone else is seeing. And it makes me so sad. I want to love these books that everyone else is loving. I want these to be my favorite books too. I don't want to have a controversial opinion. I mean, it's not that I'm actively trying to not be controversial. I want to be able to enjoy it too. Like, I want to be in on the fun. I want to be loving the books that other people are loving. But I just did not think this was very great. I also don't really think I'd call this much of a thriller. I think I would call this more of a suspense. And I'm just the most devastated that I have heard this book talked about so much as having this mind-blowing, crazy, you will never see it coming plot twist in the middle of this book that I literally saw in the first couple of chapters. Like, it just was so obvious. I thought it was supposed to be obvious. It was so obvious that I thought you were supposed to know. Like, I didn't think that was supposed to be something you didn't know. And also, even if you don't pick up on it, it's not exciting to figure out. Like, maybe, I mean, it was for a lot of people. I don't want to discount that. So many people thought this was exciting to figure out that reveal. But I don't know what about that would be exciting. It just connects the story together and keeps it moving. I don't know. I don't want to trash it because everybody else really loves it. So like, who's gonna want to sit here and listen to me trash a book that you all love? But yeah, I just didn't think it was thrilling. There was like nothing thrilling about it to me. I didn't really like the characters. I didn't like the main character. Everyone loves this woman and she's just this badass who's killing all these men. But like, I don't know. I didn't really feel that. The only person I've been able to connect with on this book is Beth from Beth's All Booked. I know that she felt similarly about this book and didn't really love it, but I don't think I ever listened to her full explanation because I didn't want to go in biased with a negative impression before I started the book. But now I'm gonna have to go back and watch her video about it. But I've also been chatting with her a little bit about it, and yeah, we just agree on so many things. Like, it's just so hard for me to root for this main character. Yes, I know these are bad men, but you can't just go around killing people with no repercussions. It just didn't work for me. I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like there were zero thrills. It just felt like a suspense. There wasn't a lot of exciting things happening, and with the nature of the twist, it didn't change the story for me at all. So that was also just like, I never felt like I got a twist. There was never anything exciting. Even though I predicted the twist, sometimes even if you predict the twist, it still is exciting to read, but it wasn't even a twist to me. It was just like a reveal that had already been revealed. That was very evident. I don't know. That's all I have to say about it right now. Maybe I'll have more to say about it later, but very disappointed. Not in you all for loving it. I'm disappointed in myself, I guess. Or just the book. I don't know. Feel free to love this book. Do whatever you want. Everyone has different tastes, but it just didn't work for me. So I have abso-freaking-lutely no idea what I want to read next because I have just had disappointment after disappointment, and I want to read a book that I'm going to love. So I'm going to do some thinking on it of some books that I might want to pick up. I might do an Instagram poll. I don't know, but Gabby and Olivia have reading sprints starting in 2 hours on their Patreon that I'm going to be doing again. So I've got the next 2 hours to figure my life out and figure out what I'm going to be reading next. And I will let you know once I know. We're getting ready to start the second reading sprint for the Patreon reading sprints that Gabby and Olivia are doing. I had no idea what to read. I had like a stack of books. I assembled a stack of 5 books, and I'm such a type A Virgo that what I decided to do was look up their average rating on Goodreads, and I stacked them in order of highest rated to lowest rated, and that's just what I'm going down. So the highest rated one was the ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. So this is the one that I picked up for the first 45-minute sprint, and I got 40 pages into it. The premise of this one is that there is a person who is killing people going down the alphabet. So like killing someone, their last name beginning with the letter A, then B, then C. And it's a Hercule Poirot book, so he's investigating it. I thought I was gonna like this one. I think the only other thing I've read from Agatha Christie is And Then There Were None, which I read many years ago, like back when I was in high school probably. And I really liked that one, so I thought this would be fun too, but the writing was just kind of boring, which isn't super surprising because it's old. And it's just kind of making me sleepy. So I don't think I'm going to continue in this one. Maybe ever. It's just not that intriguing to me. It's just not pulling me in. It's not super fast paced. The concept of the mystery is just not super compelling once you start reading it. I don't know. 40 pages in and only one person has died, and we're just really milking this first murder. And I'm like, we have 26 letters in the alphabet. How are we not like moving along faster? But anyway, I honestly think I'm probably just gonna look up spoilers for this book and then unhaul it because I just don't really care. So this one I'm gonna put down. And then the next highest rated book that I had is the 22 Murders of Madison May by Max Berry. So I'm gonna try this one now for the second sprint. So I'll give this one 45 minutes of my time and we'll see if it intrigues me more. But the premise of this one, I don't know. I'll just tell you after I read it. Okay, checking in. I just read the first chapter of this book. The reading sprint is still going on. I kind of wasted a lot of it because I was really hungry, and so I made a bowl of cereal and I was eating and I was talking to my partner, and so I've only read a chapter of this in this sprint, and there's like 7 minutes left until it's over. So I'm just going to chat with you really quickly until this one ends. But this first chapter was really, really good, and I'm very intrigued by this book. I still didn't fully read the synopsis, and I especially don't want to now once it started, because the first chapter is just really intriguing. So in the first chapter, there is this woman, Madison May, and she is a real estate agent. She's going to this really dingy house, and she gets there, the mailbox is like all smashed up in the yard. She's like, great, this place is already a shit show, and now it looks even worse. And so she goes in, she's trying to clean it up. They're in Queens, and it's really hot, and this man shows up for the house tour, and she has to get a photo of him to send it back to her people for like security measures or whatever. He's like wandering the house, and she's trying to like make it smell better and, you know, tidy up while he's doing that. And then he says he has to go get something in his car, and so he heads out, and she notices he's got a lot of bruises on his arm, like his arm just looks really gross. And then he comes back inside, and then she can't find him, she doesn't know where he is. And then all of a sudden he's like asking her to go into the bedroom. He's like, I just want to talk to you. He's calling her Madison, like he knows her. He's like, please just come to the bedroom, we can talk. And she's just trying to not get murdered, so she's like, all right, I'm just gonna do what this man says. I have all his info, like he'd be ridiculous to try to murder me. I don't know, I'm just trying to get out of the situation. So she follows him into the bedroom and is trying to make an escape plan, and he's got this toolbox in there, and he is saying he is from a different world or different dimension, and in every world he tries to find her, and he just wants to help her. I don't know. And she's like asking questions, and she's like, are we together in those worlds or what? And he's like, no, sometimes I can convince you, sometimes I can't, but like, he's like, I don't want this to be hard, I want this to be the easy way, like I want to take you to this other world or whatever. She's like, okay, whatever. And then she's like looking at the toolbox, and she notices there's knives there, and so then she starts to get nervous, and she had told him she recognized him. She's like, oh yeah, like you just seem familiar to me, just lying just to try to appease him. And then he catches on to the fact that she's lying to him, and then he gets really angry, and then he kills her. And he does it by like shoving his forearm into her mouth, and so you can tell that's like how he's getting the bruises is from killing her, and then he like stabs her with a knife. So this is very intriguing to me. I knew the basic concept had something to do with there being this woman, Madison May, who keeps getting murdered in all these different worlds and dimensions for some reason, but that's really all I know, and I'm excited to keep reading this one. It looks like we still have 5 minutes until the next sprints begin, so let me chat with you real quick as well about They Never Learn. So I've been thinking more about this book and trying to parse out how I feel about it. I've been chatting with my friend Beth about it. I got on these reading sprints, and it's really funny because Olivia is reading They Never Learn right now, and she is loving it, and she just got to the halfway point, and she's like, oh my god, the plot twist, and Gabby's like, oh my god, yeah, and everyone in the chat is like, it's so good, and then I'm sitting here like, this is awkward. But I think what I've decided is it's probably just like a 3-star for me. I don't think it's gonna be super memorable for me. It was just kind of like an okay story that just didn't really surprise me, but it works really well for so many other people. So many other people think it is so brilliant and that the plot twist is really surprising, and that's great. I'm so happy for all of you who feel that way. I really wish I could have felt that way, but I just didn't. I don't know if I've just read this twist too many times that it just seemed obvious to me or what, but yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna settle for a 3-star rating. Didn't hate it. It didn't offend me in any way, but I definitely didn't love it, and I probably really won't remember much about it. And I hope that that is received well. I don't know. Sometimes I worry when I don't want to trash everyone's favorite thriller book, and I feel bad too because in part 1 of the Winterween vlogs, I hated Near the Bone, which everyone else also loves, and so many people are reading that right now for the readathon too, and I don't want it to seem like I'm just this negative person who's trying to make you hate your favorite books. Like, in no way am I doing that, but I'm not gonna pretend that I enjoyed something that I didn't. I'm just an honest person, so I don't know. I hope that doesn't bother you. I personally find it really funny when people hate books that I loved. Like, some of my favorite thrillers this year are very widely criticized, like Every Value Break by Peter Swanson and 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. I listen to people absolutely destroy those books, and I just think it's really funny. Like, it does not hurt my feelings at all. Everyone can have a different experience with the book. I guess I would still recommend you pick up They Never Learn. If it's something you're interested in, you're probably gonna love it like everyone else. It's probably not as likely that you're gonna be bored by it like I was, but yeah. that's how I feel about it. And it looks like the reading sprints are just about over, so I want to make sure I catch when they're chatting again. But I will be continuing with this book for the rest of the evening, and I will be checking in with you once I get as far as I'm going to get into it today and let you know how it's going. Hello, good morning. It is Sunday, so it is the very last day of the Winterween readathon, and I'm trying to really finish this book today. It's currently about noon, and I've been reading it a little more this morning. I read it more last night, and I'm like halfway through right now. I'm at page 154, and it's like 320 pages long. So realistically, I could definitely finish this today, but it's a matter of, is that what I'm gonna want to do with my day? So I don't know. I might not finish it, but I'm gonna try really hard. But I wanted to update you while I was at the halfway point about how the book is going so far. I will say it is not as thrilling as I was anticipating it to be. It is heavier on like the sci-fi alternate dimension thing, less heavy on like the mystery on why these murders are going on. There is still a mystery element of you don't fully understand everything, but it reveals a little bit to you in the beginning and starts explaining some things, and it's not really, I don't think, trying to focus on like being this twisty thing. It's not super surprising, so that's a little bit of a bummer because I want there to be more mystery, more surprises, more twists, more thrills, but that's just because that's how I go into books like this. I just want to be surprised because I just love thrillers so much, but it's doing fine at what it is trying to do, being a speculative sci-fi alternate dimension, someone's getting murdered. One of the few other people that I have seen talk about this book, I haven't seen many people read it or talk about it, but one of the few is this guy I follow on Bookstagram, whose Bookstagram is Jordy's Book Club. I've seen his review of this. He really likes Max Berry, so he really liked this book. He was a little biased, he said, but he gave it 4 stars, and he called out that he liked how Max Berry plays with genre in this, and that's definitely something I'm noticing. There's like some scenes that will be a little more like horror or like a little bit meta in how it's trying to be a genre trope in a way. It's kind of hard to explain. But anyway, all in all, I think it's going fine so far. It's not my favorite thing. It's not blowing my mind, but I'm still intrigued by the story. The only other weird kind of thing that's kind of throwing me off is the writing style is a little bit weird, specifically with how this white male author is writing this white female character, Madison May. I don't know. You know when you just like read something about a woman character and you just know it was written by a man? This definitely has like written by a man vibes. Like he's trying too hard to do something, and there's this one part in particular on page 126 that's like trying to be satirical, I think, but it's just so weird coming from like a white man. It's just hard to explain without giving full details of things, but he just writes this Madison May character who you follow many different versions of because she keeps getting murdered in different worlds. So each Madison May is a little bit different. Her career is different. The people she's around are different. The things she's doing are different. And every time there's just like a little something that's weird. Like she doesn't want to call her building super to come fix her broken air conditioning because she doesn't want to come up as a privileged white girl. And she has this friend who is a person of color, and they all go out to this lake for a little weekend getaway. And at least one other person in the group is also a person of color. And that's what the page 124 thing is about, is she thinks in her head, what a racially diverse bunch we are. And like, if anyone were seeing us right now, they would think that we're so racially diverse. It's just like weird stuff that's kind of throwing me off with the writing and the way that he's writing Madison May in particular, which is funny because the other main character that you're mostly following throughout the story is this journalist who is trying to investigate what's going on and figure out like, why is Madison May getting murdered in all these different timelines, and how are people jumping through time and space and dimensions. She's also a white female. Her name is Felicity Staples, and I'm not getting any weird vibes with the way he's writing her, so it's just a little strange. Yeah, I guess overall too, I'm confused about what the message of this book's going to be, because the reason Madison May keeps getting murdered, I won't spoil that for you, you do find it out pretty quickly, but the reason she keeps getting murdered is basically like just not super complex. Like it's basically just men suck and this guy just wants to keep murdering her, which is just like a weird story coming from a man. I don't know. We'll figure it out. By the end, I'll see how I feel about it all. Maybe it'll make more sense by the end and I'll see what the author was trying to do. But yeah, all that being said, it's going fine. I'm gonna try to finish it. If I can't finish it, today, then I will just talk about it in my next monthly wrap up. But for now, I am hungry, so I'm gonna make some food and watch some YouTube videos and take a little reading break because I've been reading for quite a bit this morning. So I will talk to you the next time I have read some more of this book. Okay, I did it. I finished the 22 Murders of Madison May, and I'm really proud of myself because it's only like 8 p.m. I actually got through the final book of the readathon in time with a little bit of skimming towards the end because I actually ended up not really liking this book. This is honestly probably like a 2-star read for me. The best part was the first chapter, and then it all kind of gradually went downhill from there. It just wasn't really for me. It wasn't really what I was looking for. I wanted there to be more thrills and surprises and twists, and for this to be like a speculative thriller, but this is more of just like a speculative book with murder, and that's about it. So yeah, I don't know, didn't really work out for me, which is a bit of a bummer because I was really excited about this book when it was coming out. I mean, I bought it brand new as a hardcover, but at least I gave it a try, and now I know that it wasn't gonna be for me. I will say what I do find interesting about these kind of books where there's alternate dimensions and alternate realities and infinite versions of yourself and the way your life could be. I like the idea of that and how this book examines the meaning of life when you're faced with infinite possibilities. Like, there's some people in this book who believe that because there are so many alternate dimensions and realities, there's no point to anything, and you can always be like looking for the next one and just trying to hop around and just like go see all the things you can see. But then there's other people who aren't of that mindset and want to find value in life, and it doesn't matter that there's infinite realities of the people they love. They just want to pick one and cherish it and make the most of it. So I thought that kind of conversation is interesting, but overall, I don't know, the book just wasn't really for me. So just like a 2-star, but if you like speculative, alternate dimension, like heavy on the speculative / sci-fi stuff, a lot more plot focused, not very character focused, and not really very thrilling, as in like twists and surprises, then I would recommend this to you, but it just didn't really work for me. So that is a wrap on Winterween. I got through so many books this week, so I will quickly review all of them. I really enjoyed This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. This was probably my favorite. This was definitely my favorite out of this stack. 4-star horror book, grief, beautiful writing, really strange cosmic horror at the end, confusing, but still really good. Near the Bone by Christina Henry. I did not enjoy. I ended up giving this 1 star. It was just not what I was looking for, but pretty much everyone else out there loves this book. So if you're interested in it, I guess still pick it up because I seem to be the outlier here. The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. This one just didn't pull me in. I just didn't really care about it, and I DNF'd it after 40 pages, and I won't be picking it back up. For the novella, I read The Bell Chime by Mona Kabani. This is just a very, very weird novella. Gave me weird dreams, and it didn't really do anything for me beyond that, so just kind of a 2-star. We just talked about the 22 Murders of Madison May, so you know my thoughts on this one. And then They Never Learn by Lainey Fargo. Another one that's really hyped that just didn't do it for me. Ended up being a 3-star for me. Thought it was a fine book, but didn't feel like a thriller to me. I wasn't surprised by the twists, and I really wanted that because that's how so many people have talked about their experience with this book. So I was just really let down that I didn't have that experience, but it's another one that everyone loves. So if you're interested in it, still pick it up because so many other people love it, and I just tend to be another outlier here with this one. Let me know down in the comments below if you participated in Winterween, what you read. Did you have any great reads or any terrible reads? I seem to have had some not great reads, but it's books that I was excited to get to, so I'm glad that I got through them anyway. And this was the perfect way to kick off the year, just getting through so many books in a week. I'm still so in the mood to just keep reading. I love the kickstart that it gives to the year. So as always, I had a great time. I hope you had a great time too. As always, thank you to Gabby and Olivia for hosting these readathons. They are just so much fun, and I love how it brings the thriller community together. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!